So I want to talk about writing a summary. In some of your college classes, you'll have to write summary reactions, sometimes called summary responses. And if you go into certain fields of work, you might have to write summaries for articles or research for your job. So I'm going to talk a little bit about writing a summary in general. Basically, a summary is a shortened version of a reading. It focuses on the author's main ideas. It lists, list is a bad word, it discusses the major supporting details, very few minor details, probably not any actually, are in a summary. You really want to hit big idea concepts. But the key to summarizing is to put things in your own words. Because if you use a direct quote, even a couple of words, you have to put it in quotations. So everything gets into your own words. So in order to write it, you have to follow a few steps. You're going to read and reread and follow the SQ3R until you understand what the author is saying. You want to annotate the main ideas, major supporting details whenever you read, because those will become the outline that you're going to use to write your summary. So when you read and annotate, you want to find the main ideas and major supporting details for each of the main ideas. You also want to think about the source and the author, because when you're writing your response, you're going to have to address those. But when you're writing the summary, focus on main ideas and annotate them in the margins. Underline them. Once you do that, you will turn it into an outline. Okay? So you'll find the thesis statement, what the article is, major supporting detail, sorry, major, main idea, I'm sorry, it should say main idea, and then the major supporting details. And then you would go to main idea number 2 and major supporting details if there are any. Then you would work your way through the article, turning your marks and annotations into your outline. Okay. Once you do that, you're ready to create your rough draft of your summary. And you're going to begin with the bibliographic information. So in there, you want to include the date of the article, the name of the journal that you found it, the title in quotation marks, and the author's name and credentials. In college, you should be finding your research through databases. And gone are the days of Googling and finding articles written by Joe Schmo. The college has databases that for every subject we pay a lot of money every year to get you access to really good, solid information. So you should be able to identify the author's name and credentials relatively easily. So the first sentence of your summary is that bibliographic information. In 2005, Prescott Journal of Ideas published a brief essay called How Delaying Gratification Predicts Future Success by Carrie Gardner, a professor of education at Hitton University's Graduate School of Education. That gives all the bibliographic information that your audience needs to know. Okay. Then you're going to introduce the topic. Gardner's essay concentrates on the issue of delayed gratification. And then you want to write what the thesis of that article is. Okay. This is a direct quote. I found a good statement in that article, so I'm going to directly quote it. So I put the parenthetical citation at the end. From there, then you go to your outline and you write a paragraph in your own words that follows The first main idea and the major supporting details. Second main idea, those supporting details. And you just work your way through the outline, putting them in paragraph form. Okay. If one of the major supporting details needs a little bit more explanation, okay, then go ahead and put it in. But you want to make sure that your summary, it should be about a third of the length of the original. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then you want to tell the reader how the source ends. You can use another direct quote maybe, or you can say, she wraps up by blah, 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 blah. How does the author end the article? Okay. And that's your summary. There's no you in the summary. You don't bring any of your insight, any of your experience, any of your prior knowledge. You keep yourself out of the summary. When you're writing the response, which is the second part, that's when you're going to bring your knowledge in. But you are really summarizing what the author says and how the author supports his or her thesis. So put it in your own words as much as possible. Start with the bibliographic information, include those main ideas, but keep it short. The only thing is, don't miss out on discussing the main points. If the author has a main point, it has to be in your summary. So that's why marking and annotating of your article, of the text, is going to be so important, so that you know what his or her main points are and how, he or she supports it. Okay, so you're going to be practicing doing these steps in order to write your own summary. And then once you have the summary, you'll be ready to do the second part of the assignment, which is the reaction.